Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching. So welcome back to another match preview. So tonight Newcastle United take on Burnley at Turf Moor. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Sky Sports. So I do apologise about the late preview, of course. It's been a busy one and there's not really much going on the channel, of course, with the international break. I'm really looking forward to tonight's match against Burnley. So both teams currently sit a point above the relegation zone. We currently sit 15th on 9 points and Burnley currently sit 17th on 9 points. It's a chance tonight to get 3 points against the Burnley side, who are currently struggling this season for form in the Premier League compared to last season. Burnley were amazing last season, under Sean Dyche. He managed to finish the Clouds off in 7th place in the Premier League. And the reason for Burnley's poor form this season, in my opinion, is due to the lack of spending, due to the lack of squad depth, not really having the resources. And obviously Premier League and Europa League football, that would be typical Sunday to Thursday kickoffs, and it's not easy to adjust to that. And we had the same situation back in the 2012-2013 campaign, when we finished a disappointing 16th place under Alan Pardew, when we got the quarterfinals of the Europa League against Benfica. Anyway, got a bit off topic. So we'll take on a Burnley side who haven't had the best start under Sean Dyche. He's a little bit disappointed because he's probably expecting Burnley to be a lot higher in the table, to have a lot more about them, to have more points on the board. But the Premier League is very ruthless, of course. Just like we've learned over the last few seasons, and if you don't pick up form, you can't be relegated. Doesn't matter what you do or how you set up. Burnley are going to be a tough opposition for us, but I don't see why we can't go there and get 3 points against a team who have struggled to match last season, where they were beating teams by the odd goal, shutting teams off. They've stopped doing that, of course, this season. We are in a good moment, of course. We've won back-to-back games at home against Watford and Bournemouth, and the fans who travel down tonight will say this is an even bigger opportunity to get our first win away from home this season. A chance to stamp our authority on the Premier League, to really kick on and push away from the relegation zone. Just because we've won 2 games this season doesn't mean that we're out of trouble. We're far from it. The Premier League table is tighter than ever. The top 4 is tight, the middle of the table is tight, and the bottom half of the table is tight. And I just think it was important that we got those 2 wins against Watford and Bournemouth, because it breathes confidence into the team going into this one. And if we hadn't have got the 2 wins, then we'd probably be rock bottom, because the likes of Huddersfield got 3 points. Crystal Palace managed to get a point away at Old Trafford. And I just think at the moment, even though we've got the other 2 wins under our belt, we can't afford to sit back. Even away to Burnley, we've got to start taking the game to teams, and we've got to keep the rhythm going. We've got to keep the form going. Burnley, of course, are no pushovers. Just because they've had a bad start doesn't mean that they can't put up a good performance, because if it had been at St James's tonight, we'd be expected to win. Our fans would be expectant. Their fans would be exactly the same tonight. They're a Turf Moor, their fans are being loud voiced, so will ours. And that's why it's live, because it's a chance for 2 relegation threatened teams to go up against each other and try and match each other man for man. Our record against Burnley isn't brilliant, of course. Last season we managed to pick up a point against them. They got 4. I was at the game at Turf Moor last season where we lost by 1-0. I remember I was disappointed leaving that one, because I don't think Burnley were amazing, but because they were so used to winning games by the odd goal, if you give them any sort of opportunity, they will score. And I remember it was, I forgot his name now, it was Jeff Hendrick who scored around about the 60th, 70th minute to see off the game for the Clarets, and they got the 3 points. And then I was at the game this last season at St James's where they managed to claw back and equalise, and they could have won the game. And I was disappointed because we went 1-0 up and we didn't sort of kick on and try and go for the second. And if anybody was going to win that game, it was Burnley. And you know what? I think at the minute, I think the international break's not really done us a favour in any way. Even though we've won 2 games, it's sort of done well for Burnley because they haven't done so well. And I think because of the injuries that they've picked up, they probably needed that, and obviously the form as well going into the international break wasn't good either, so that can only work in their favour. It worked in our favour, of course, the first time round, because of how bad we were playing. but that's the international break. You can't obviously change that. Obviously, we've got a lot of injuries to deal with as well. You know, the likes of Jamal Lascelles is going to be out, which is a real shame, but I'm not really missing him too much because I think Shaw and Fernandez have played brilliant at the back. You know, the partnership, you know, putting their bodies on the line, you know, the real leadership. You know, I like how Fernandez talks. And obviously, we've got the likes of Lejeune, obviously in training at the minute. He's on his way back, but not just yet. He's not going to be risk for the game. But I just like the back four partnership. Obviously, Paul Dummett's going to be out because he picked up a hamstring injury on duty with Wales, which is a bit of a shame because I think he's having his best season for me in Newcastle colours. You know, he's really making a name for himself, and I just hope, you know, it's not as serious. He's not going to be out as long as what we hope for, but we all know what a hamstring injury can do. It can keep you out for a long time. But let's hope it's not serious. So if you are watching Paul Dummett, which I know you probably won't be, but I hope you have a speedy recovery and you get back soon to full fitness. We're missing Jonjo Shelvey as well, which could have been key for tonight, you know, putting those Hollywood balls into the box, you know, creating a problem. That was always going to be a tough call to bring him back so quick. But I think, to be honest with you, the squad that we played against Bournemouth is in a good moment. You know, Rondon's got 2 goals. You know, he's going to be full of confidence going into this one. I think what we need to do is just play the same like we did against Bournemouth. Create early pressure, put pressure on the, you know, on the Burnley back four. And you know, if you put a good ball into the box for Rondon, 9 times out of 10, he's going to stick his nut on it and he's going to score. And I think with the 2 goals that he scored against Bournemouth, it's only going to do him the world of good going into this one. And I think he was unlucky not to get a hat-trick against Bournemouth. He could even have got 4. But there we go. You know, we'll all miss chances. And I just think tonight is a chance to, you know, go there and get 3 points. But if we can't get 3 points, at least get a point. Don't walk away from Burnley feeling disappointed for yourselves, because there's been many times where we've dominated a game away from home and we've come away empty-handed. And I think, you know, we're better than that. We can do this. We can get the 3 points. But at the end of the day, we don't want to go away, you know, with nothing. And even if we can get a point, we can build on it. You know, that would be, you know, 7 points from 9. Hopefully we'll get the 3. But like I keep saying, if we can't, you know, win it, don't lose it. And I just think Rafa Benitez needs to sort of set up the same way. But obviously Manquillo will probably come in for Dummett. I hope he doesn't play Clark at that position because he struggles. I remember Clark in many games. I think one was against Nottingham Forest in the Cup. He just got totally outdone, and you know, we got picked off time and time again. But everybody seems to be in good spirits. You know, watching the training, Rafa Benitez seems in good spirits as well. He just wants to go there and he wants to get the 3 points, and I think that's what we should be doing, going there and being positive and taking the game to Burnley. Obviously Sean Dyche will think the same. You know, Burnley, they're at home against Newcastle, another relegation threatened team. We need 3 points, we need to turn it around, and that's the sort of game it's going to be today. I think it's going to be an end-to-end game. I don't see why we can't, or why we shouldn't take the game to them. Burnley will have their attacks, we'll have ours, but hopefully when we have our attacks, we put them in the back of the net and we don't be wasteful like we have been in some games. Because like I keep saying, I've seen in many games, for example, Watford, Bournemouth, even though we've won them, we've sort of sat back and we've allowed teams to, you know, counter-attack. We can't afford to do that. I think when we get our chances, we've got to take them. And even if we go 1-0 up, and if we have more chances, get the second, get the third, kill the game off, and go away from Turf Moor and say goodbye. There's 3 points for us. But like I say, we've got some winnable games coming up as well. You know, we've got West Ham at St James's Park, which a game I'll be at, of course. And then we've got the likes of Everton. We've got Wolves coming up. We've got, you know, Huddersfield, Fulham, whichever way. I don't know the exact order of them 2 fixtures until we play Liverpool on Boxing Day, which again isn't always a good fixture. But you know what? It's going to be a tough match in many aspects in terms of like how we'll go about it, because like I say, I'll be positive now and then Newcastle will do something completely different. That's why it's not going to be easy. But there's no easy game in the Premier League, of course, but we should be going there to get 3 points, if, you know, for the game. Anyway, score prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 to Newcastle. I'm going to go 2 goals for Rondon. Leave me your score predictions down below. Leave us your team lineups. Also, are you travelling down to the game? Let us know. And if you are travelling down to the game, safe journey there and back. I hope you deliver the 3 points, and I hope you have a good time down at the match as well. Anyway, I won't be there, but like I keep saying, I will try and target some away games for this season, hopefully for the new year. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the short, well, I say short preview, the preview that I've just done. And like I say, if you have any more comments, anything you want to say, leave it down below in the comments, and subscribe, hit the like button. It's been Sharky. Enjoy the game. How are the lads?